Alleged CEO killer Luigi Mangione is due back in court this morning, where a judge could rule on whether or not he faces the death penalty, as well as the defense's request to suppress evidence found in Mangione's backpack. And listen to this, just hours before today's scheduled hearing, a man from Minnesota by the name of Mark Anderson was arrested for allegedly trying to break Mangione out of jail. He's also accused of impersonating an FBI agent while showing up to prison with a barbecue fork and pizza cutter. Joining me now to break it all down is criminal defense attorney David Gelman. David, let's first start with this wild development that took place yesterday, where a guy shows up pretending to be an FBI agent, apparently trying to break Mangione out of jail. It sounds like a movie. Have you ever heard of anything like this before?
Well, the guy's from Minnesota, so I guess anything's possible.
A lot going on in that state, yeah. Whoa.
Yeah. No, this is a new one to me, Carly. And when you go to a federal facility, and I've been to many of them, it is like Fort Knox. You can't get in and out of there for anything. So there's definitely probably a mental issue with this individual, I would assume. I mean, unless he's going to go cut a pizza or something like that.
And I think he was going to have a job as at a pizza place, and it didn't work out, and that's why he was there. So you're right to bring that up. He did a very poor job in his attempt. When they asked for his federal credentials, he handed people his Minnesota driver's license. So it wasn't really like this grand attempt. But this does go to show the cult-like following that Mangione has, which is a big problem.
It's called the Netflix effect. This is what I've been saying about with these killers who are, being sensationalized. This is just one in a million people who just are loving Mangione. They think he's a great guy. They think he's almost like a godlike individual. And it really is a shame. And this could be interesting for a trial, because how are you going to get a jury when they have to all be, just not biased at all?
Yeah.
It's going to be very difficult.
That's a really good point. And this particular person, he was arrested yesterday inside the Brooklyn jail, so at least they didn't have to take him very far. But you mentioned the trial, and it is a big day today for Mangione, because there are going to be several big decisions that could be made by the judge. Tell us about that.
So there's two issues that the judge is going to be talking about today. The first is suppression of the items. And suppression is pretty much saying, hey, defense, we want to keep certain evidence out of a trial.
We're talking about the backpack here.
That is the backpack, and then contents in the backpack, like the notebook that said he wanted to whack an individual, and also the gun. Those are the two big things. I don't think the judge is going to actually suppress these items, though, because I don't think the police did a really bad job when they searched Mangione originally in Altoona, Pennsylvania. And when it comes to murder trials, judges are very, very skeptical about keeping evidence out. They want to let everything come out. So I don't think this is going to happen. The second thing the judge has to consider today is the death penalty. And in my opinion, I don't think that the judge is going to really touch that today. I think the judge is going to leave that open for later on down the road.
Okay, so if the judge does decide to move forward with the death penalty, that could push the trial to a start date of January 2027?
That's correct. So they're talking about right now doing jury selection in September. All right.
Wow.
They'll do the jury selection. Now, if the death penalty is still on the table, yeah, you're looking at January. If it's not on the table, then you're looking at an October trial date the judge wants to do.
Okay, so your prediction is that the judge is going to focus on the evidence and it's going to be allowed to be presented in court, and then the death penalty decision will be made at a later date. There's also some big news when it comes to the timeline of the state trial, because DA Alvin Bragg says he wants the state case to start on July 1st. So why is that a big deal?
Well, it's a big deal because in New York, the law is if the federal court goes first, the federal trial goes first, then there's a double jeopardy issue, meaning that the individual is charged twice, and they can't have that. So New York, the state case, they want to go first.
Oh.
That's the only reason, in my opinion. Now, will that happen? I just don't see it happen. I don't think it can. There's just not enough time. And then Mangione's due process rights, they would definitely be violated if that did happen. So I just don't see it happen.
Okay, so federal case will likely go first, but if state did, he could be charged twice.
That is correct.
If federal goes first, it's just once, but he could be up for the death penalty in the federal case.
Bingo.
What about the state?
No, so there's no death penalty in New York, but it's life without possibility of parole.
Copy. Wow, a lot going on in this case, and you did a great job of breaking it all down for us. David Gelman, we thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Carly.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.